The owner of a bankrupt restaurant allowed a beggar woman and her daughter to live in the restaurant before selling it. When he returned to the restaurant and entered without warning, he couldn't believe what the beggar woman had done. The restaurant Flavors of Life had been for many years a vital meeting point in the small town of Santa Clara. Founded by Miguel nearly 3 decades ago, the place was not just a dining space, but also a haven of warmth and human connection. The restaurant's walls were adorned with old photos, mementos of happy customers and community events. Every table had a story, and every dish served was a testament to Miguel's passion for cooking. Miguel, a 60-year-old widower, was known for his kindness and generosity. Since his wife's passing, he had dedicated his life to the restaurant and the community. His grey hair and the wrinkles on his face told stories of hard times and victories. Miguel always had a smile for everyone and a plate of food for those who couldn't afford it. He knew the names of his regular customers, their preferences, and most importantly, their stories. Among the regular patrons of Flavors of Life were the local homeless. Miguel never saw them as less deserving of his hospitality. Elena, a 27-year-old woman, and her 7-year-old daughter Manuela were 2 of those people. Before the economic crisis devastated their lives, Elena had worked as a publicist at a renowned advertising agency. However, the recession led to her unemployment and subsequent eviction. With nowhere to go, Elena found an unexpected ally in Miguel, who always had a hot meal and comforting words for her and her daughter. The once prosperous restaurant began to face hard times, with the opening of new competitors in the area and the economic crisis that affected everyone. Miguel saw the flow of customers decreasing daily, and debts began to pile up. Desperation started to set in. Flavors of Life was about to close its doors, taking with it a lifetime of memories and achievements. On a particularly cold day, after serving a hot meal to Elena and Manuela, Miguel sat down with Elena to vent. Little Manuela played near the counter, laughing and oblivious to the adults' problems. "Elena, I don't know what to do. The restaurant won't survive another month if things keep going like this," Miguel said, his voice heavy with sadness. Elena looked at Miguel with empathy. She knew all too well what it was like to lose everything. "Miguel, you've always been so generous with me and Manuela. I don't know how to thank you. If there's anything I can do to help, please tell me," she replied, feeling a mix of desperation and gratitude. Miguel sighed. He didn't want to burden Elena, but he also saw no other way out. "I appreciate your offer, Elena, but I can't pay you. We're saving every penny," he said. Elena thought for a moment, then said firmly, "You don't need to pay me. I want to help. You've given us so much when we had nothing. Let me try to give back in some way." Miguel was silent for a moment, moved by Elena's selfless offer. He nodded slowly, accepting the help. "Thank you, Elena. Let's try to save this place together." The next morning, Elena woke up early, determined to make a difference. She knew that her experience as a publicist could be useful, even without the resources she had at her previous job. When she arrived at the restaurant, she was greeted by Miguel's warm smile. "Good morning, Elena. Thank you for coming so early," said Miguel, showing his gratitude. "Good morning, Miguel. I'm ready to start. Let's save this restaurant together," Elena replied with a confident smile. She immediately began working, cleaning tables, organizing the space, and helping in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Miguel watched, amazed by Elena's dedication and energy. He knew he had made the right decision in accepting her help. Shortly after, Miguel's daughter Julieta entered the restaurant. At 30 years old, Julieta was a practical and determined woman. Seeing Elena working, she approached. "My dad told me about your decision to help. I'm very happy to have someone so dedicated with us. I have some clothes you can wear while you're here. It's not fair for you to work without feeling comfortable and appropriately dressed for the environment, said Giulietta, handing a small package to Elena. Thank you so much, Giulietta. This means a lot to me and to Manuela, replied Elena, touched by the kindness. With new clothes and renewed determination, Elena felt more confident. After organizing the restaurant, she sat down with Miguel and Giulietta to discuss her marketing ideas. We need to reach more people. I believe we can use social media to attract new customers. I'll start by creating profiles for the restaurant and posting photos of our dishes, events, and customers' stories, Elena explained enthusiastically. Miguel and Giulietta agreed. Elena knew it would be hard work, but she was ready to face the challenge. She began taking photos of the dishes lovingly prepared by Miguel, capturing every detail that made Flavors of Life a special place. With her phone in hand, Elena started posting on social media. Her skills as a publicist quickly began to show results. She created campaigns, interacted with followers, and shared touching stories about the restaurant and its patrons. By the end of the week, the first signs of hope began to appear. Some new customers showed up, attracted by Elena's posts. They wanted to try the food that so many praised and meet the kind man who did so much for the community. We're starting to see an increase in traffic, Miguel. This is just the beginning, said Elena, her eyes sparkling with hope. I don't know how to thank you, Elena. You have brought new life to this place, replied Miguel, moved. As hope was reborn in Flavors of Life, Elena knew there was still much work to be done. But she also knew that with determination and a bit of luck, they would overcome the crisis. Together, Miguel, Elena, and Giulietta formed a united and strong team, ready to face any challenge. The restaurant was beginning to breathe new life, and Elena's determination showed that she was ready to fight for the place that had welcomed her in her most difficult moments. As weeks went by, Elena's hard work began to bear fruit. The social media marketing strategies attracted a growing number of customers. The daily posts, highlighting Miguel's homemade dishes and the touching stories of the customers, started gaining popularity. The traffic at Flavors of Life gradually increased, and Miguel felt relieved to see his restaurant beginning to thrive again. Despite the progress, Elena and Manuela's housing situation remained worrying. Miguel watched with concern as they slept in the small makeshift office at the back of the restaurant. He knew this was not a sustainable situation, especially with a young child involved. One night, after closing the restaurant, Miguel called Elena for a conversation. Elena, you and Manuela have been a great help here, but I can't continue to let you sleep at the restaurant. It's not safe or suitable for a child. I'd like to offer you a place at my house. I know it's not ideal, but it's better than here, said Miguel, his voice filled with genuine concern. Elena was surprised by the generous offer. She knew Miguel was already doing so much for them, but the prospect of a safe home for her daughter was too tempting to refuse. Miguel, I don't know how to thank you for all this. We accept your offer with much gratitude. Manuela deserves a safe place to sleep and grow, replied Elena with tears in her eyes. The next day, Elena and Manuela moved to Miguel's house. The house was modest but welcoming. Giulietta helped prepare a room for Manuela, filling it with toys and books she had kept from her own childhood. I hope Manuela likes it. I know it's not much, but it's a start, said Giulietta, smiling at Elena. Manuela, delighted with her new room, ran to explore every corner. Elena couldn't contain her emotion at seeing her daughter so happy. For the first time in a long while, she felt a true hope for a better future. The new family dynamic began to settle in. Miguel, Elena, Giulietta, and Manuela formed a harmonious routine. In the mornings, everyone gathered in the kitchen for breakfast. Manuela, now more cheerful and confident, loved helping Miguel prepare breakfast, while Elena and Giulietta discussed strategies for the restaurant. Miguel felt revitalized. The presence of Elena and Manuela brought new energy into his life. He loved Manuela's laughter and Elena's company, who, with her determination and skills, helped transform the restaurant. "I never thought we would find so much joy in such difficult times," commented Miguel one night as they dined together. "Life has mysterious ways of surprising us. We're all in this together, and that's what matters," replied Elena, holding Manuela's hand. The community also began to notice the changes. The customers, both old and new, appreciated the renewed vitality of Flavors of Life. Many praised the improvements and the welcoming atmosphere that seemed stronger than ever. With the increase in customers, Miguel and Elena began considering new plans for the restaurant's future. Conversations about expansion and new dishes started to take shape, and the hope for a bright future became more palpable each day. Meanwhile, life at Miguel's house flourished. The presence of Elena and Manuela brought joy and renewed purpose, and together they began to dream of better days. It was a sunny morning when Samuel, Miguel's youngest son, returned from a long work trip. Samuel worked as a programmer and had spent the past few months away, involved in an important project in another city. Eager to see his family and get some rest, he had no idea of the changes he would find upon arriving home. As he opened the door, Samuel was greeted by the familiar aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the sound of laughter coming from the kitchen. He entered quietly, carrying his luggage, and made his way towards the source of the sounds. When he reached the kitchen, he was surprised to see an unfamiliar woman preparing breakfast, with a little girl playing by her side. "Excuse me, I think I walked into the wrong house," said Samuel, confused but trying to be polite. Eleanor turned around, visibly surprised. Manuela looked curiously at the stranger at the door. "Oh, you must be Samuel. Your father has talked a lot about you," said Eleanor, trying to hide her nervousness. Before Samuel could respond, Miguel entered the kitchen, smiling upon seeing his son. "Samuel, I'm so glad you're here. I have a lot to tell you," said Miguel, embracing his son. "Dad, what's going on? Who are they?" asked Samuel, still bewildered. Miguel gestured for Samuel to sit down and began to explain the situation. He told him about the crisis that almost closed the restaurant, Elena's invaluable help, and the difficult situation she and Manuela faced before finding refuge at Flavors of Life. "Elena and Manuela have been a blessing to us. Thanks to her ideas and efforts, the restaurant is starting to recover. And more importantly, they needed a safe place to stay, and they found that here," Miguel explained. Samuel listened carefully, absorbing every detail. He looked at Elena and Manuela, noticing the kindness and gratitude in their eyes. "I understand, Dad. It's a tough situation, but it seems like everyone is helping each other. Elena, you and Manuela are welcome here. If my father trusts you, so do I," said Samuel with a welcoming smile. Elena let out a sigh of relief. She had been worried about Samuel's reaction, but his immediate acceptance was a great comfort. "Thank you so much, Samuel. We are very grateful for your family's hospitality," replied Eleanor sincerely. With the understanding established, Samuel quickly adjusted to the new family dynamic. He was soon involved in the restaurant's activities, utilizing his tech skills to assist with operations. The synergy among everyone was evident, and Samuel began to appreciate Elena's vibrant presence and Manuela's joyful innocence. In the days that followed, Samuel and Elena had several conversations about further improving the restaurant. Samuel was impressed by Elena's determination and creativity. He began to realize how crucial she was to the recent success of Flavors of Life. "Elena, you've done so much for us. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. We're all in this together," said Samuel during one of their conversations. "Thank you, Samuel. Your help is also invaluable. I'm sure that together we can achieve even more, replied Eleanor, feeling increasingly part of the family. Meanwhile, Manuela quickly grew fond of Samuel, who treated her like a little sister. He often took her for walks around the neighborhood and taught her new things about technology and programming, sparking the girl's curiosity. With the restaurant, Flavors of Life, gradually recovering thanks to Elena's efforts and the constant support of Miguel and Julieta, the family began to think of ways to ensure the business not only survived, but thrived. Elena, always full of innovative ideas, thought of new strategies while observing the restaurant's flow. One night after dinner, Elena decided to share one of her ideas with Samuel. They sat in the living room while Manuela played with her new toys. "Samuel, I've been thinking about something that could help attract even more customers and increase our sales," began Elena, with a sparkle of enthusiasm in her eyes. "What do you have in mind?" asked Samuel, curious. "What if we developed an app for the restaurant, something that would allow customers to place orders for pickup and delivery? With the pandemic and people becoming more reliant on delivery services, this could be a great opportunity for us," explained Elena. Samuel considered the idea for a moment. He knew that technology could be a significant differentiator for the restaurant, and Elena's idea made a lot of sense. "That's a fantastic idea, Eleanor. I can start working on it immediately. A well-made app can really extend our reach and make it easier to serve our customers," replied Samuel, already visualizing the project in his mind. With the decision made, Samuel began working on the app. He spent long hours developing the interface, creating a user-friendly design, and ensuring all the necessary functionalities were present. Eleanor closely followed the progress, offering suggestions and feedback based on her experience as a publicist. During this period, the closeness between Samuel and Eleanor grew. They spent hours together, discussing app details, exchanging ideas, and sharing laughs. Manuela, for her part, loved spending time with Samuel, who patiently involved her in small activities related to app development. "Samuel, how does this work?" asked Manuela, curious, as she watched Samuel's computer. "Well, Manuela, this here is code. It's like a recipe that tells the app what to do. Want to see how it works?" replied Samuel, showing the girl lines of code and explaining it in simple terms. Each day, their relationship grew stronger. Samuel began to realize how much he cared for Elena and Manuela, feeling a growing connection with the two. As weeks passed, the app development progressed, but not without challenges. Samuel encountered several technical obstacles that required creative solutions and many hours of work. Elena continued to help as much as she could, suggesting improvements to the interface and thinking of ways to promote the app once it was ready. One night, while working together in the living room, Samuel looked at Eleanor and said, "You know, Eleanor, I don't think I would have gotten this far without your help and your ideas. This is really becoming something special." Eleanor smiled, feeling warm gratitude and something deeper in her heart. "We're doing this together, Samuel, and it's just the beginning. I'm sure that with time, this app will be a great success," replied Eleanor, with a hopeful glint in her eyes. As the project progressed, the daily interactions between Samuel, Elena, and Manuela became increasingly natural and enjoyable. They formed a strong and cohesive team, facing challenges together and celebrating every small victory along the way. The presence of Elena and Manuela not only brought new energy to the restaurant, but also to Samuel's life. He felt that something special was blossoming between him and Eleanor, something that went beyond mere professional collaboration. The days passed quickly, and the work on the Flavors of Life app continued to progress. Samuel and Elena spent long hours together, fine-tuning details, fixing bugs, and discussing new features. Each shared moment seemed to deepen the connection between them. Samuel, once so focused on his work, now found joy in the company of Elena and Manuela. One quiet evening, as Samuel worked on the app's code and Elena reviewed some marketing strategies, Samuel looked at Elena, noticing her dedication and how her eyes sparkled when she talked about her ideas. "Elena, you really brought new life to this place. And not just to the restaurant, but to all of us," Samuel said, feeling a wave of admiration and something deeper. Elena looked up from her papers and met Samuel's gaze. She smiled, feeling a warm sensation spread through her heart. "Samuel, you've done so much for us too. This app will make a huge difference. And I don't know how to thank you for everything you've done for me and Manuela," Elena replied sincerely. Living together had created a strong bond between them. Samuel began to realize that his feelings for Elena went beyond friendship and work partnership. He often found himself thinking about her, concerned for her and Manuela's well-being. Each smile from Elena, each laugh from Manuela made his heart beat faster. Samuel was deeply moved by Elena's story. He couldn't imagine how difficult it was to lose everything and still maintain hope and determination. Elena was a resilient woman, and Samuel admired that in her. One morning, Miguel entered the living room with a worried expression. He held the phone in his hand and seemed to be struggling to control his emotions. "Miguel, what happened?" Samuel asked, immediately standing up. "I just got a call. My brother Ramon had a serious accident. He's in the hospital in another city and can't move. I need to go there to be with him," Miguel explained, visibly shaken. Elena and Samuel exchanged worried looks. They knew Miguel's absence would mean more responsibilities for them, but they also understood the urgency of the situation. "Of course, Miguel. Go and take care of your brother. We'll take care of the restaurant while you're away," Elena said, placing a comforting hand on Miguel's shoulder. "Thank you, Elena. I know I can trust you." "Samuel, please take care of everything here," Miguel said, turning to his son. "Don't worry, Dad. We'll keep everything in order," Samuel replied with determination. With Miguel leaving the next day, the dynamics at the restaurant and the house changed. Samuel and Elena found themselves taking on more responsibilities, both at work and at home. Manuela, noticing Miguel's absence, sought even more comfort and company from Samuel and Elena. Miguel's absence also brought Samuel and Elena even closer. They worked together at the restaurant during the day and continued the app development at night. The continuous closeness, deep conversations and shared moments intensified Samuel's feelings for Elena. One night, after an especially long day at the restaurant, Samuel and Elena sat on the porch, looking at the stars. Manuela was already asleep, and the quiet night created an intimate atmosphere. "You know, Elena, I never imagined we would work so well together, and that I would end up caring so much about you and Manuela," Samuel confessed, feeling his heart race. Elena turned to him, surprised by his sincerity. She too felt something special growing between them, but didn't know how to express it. "Samuel, you have been a great support for us. I care a lot about you too," Elena replied, feeling her cheeks blush. The moment was charged with emotion, and both knew that something profound was blossoming between them. With Miguel absent and the challenges of the restaurant, Samuel and Elena found strength and comfort in each other, letting a feeling grow that promised to change their lives forever. As the days passed, Samuel and Elena finally managed to complete the app for Flavors of Life. After countless hours of work, testing and adjustments, the moment of the launch had arrived. The anticipation was great, and everyone was eager to see how the app would be received by customers. On the morning of the launch, Samuel called a small meeting at the restaurant. Present were Elena, Julieta, and Manuela, who, even without fully understanding what was happening, felt the excitement in the air. "Today is the big day. We're launching the app and seeing how our customers react. I'm confident this will bring a new stream of business to the restaurant," Samuel announced with an enthusiastic smile. Elena, by his side, nodded, sharing the sentiment. "I believe in it too, Samuel. We've worked hard to get here." "I'm very proud of all of us," she said, with an expression of gratitude. With a simple touch of a button, the app went live. In the first few hours, the first orders started coming in. The app's functionality, which allowed customers to place orders for pickup and delivery, was well received. Soon, the flow of orders increased, bringing new energy to the restaurant. "Look, Samuel, we already have several orders coming in. People are loving the app," exclaimed Eleanor, excited. "I knew it would work. We're just getting started," responded Samuel, feeling a wave of accomplishment. With the initial success of the app, the restaurant's finances began to improve. More customers were discovering flavors of life and enjoying the convenience of online ordering. Hope and optimism were palpable in the air. One night, while everyone was gathered in the living room for a small celebration, Giulietta had an innovative idea. "I was thinking about something that could bring even more customers to the restaurant. How about we organize karaoke nights? We could offer free meals to the best singers of the night. It would be a fun way to attract people and create a lively atmosphere," suggested Giulietta with a sparkle in her eyes. Elena considered the idea. Though hesitant, she recognized its potential. "It's an interesting idea, Giulietta. But should we do something so drastic while Miguel is away?" asked Eleanor, concerned. Samuel, seeing Eleanor's hesitation, intervened. "I think it's a fantastic idea. Karaoke could really set our restaurant apart and attract more customers. And if my dad has any objections, I'll take full responsibility." "Don't worry, Eleanor," said Samuel firmly. Eleanor was touched by Samuel's confidence and support. His determination encouraged her. "Then let's do it. Let's prepare a karaoke night and see how the customers react," decided Eleanor, smiling. In the following days, everyone got involved in the preparations for the first karaoke night. Samuel took care of the technical side, installing the sound system and microphones. Giulietta, with her passion for music, organized the song list and promoted the event on social media. Meanwhile, the continued success of the app brought a steady stream of new customers to the restaurant. Pickup and delivery orders increased significantly, providing a new source of revenue that helped stabilize Flavors of Life's finances. The local community began to notice the positive changes, and many were curious to visit the restaurant in person after seeing the social media posts. "It's amazing to see how the app is changing things around here," commented Giulietta, observing the growing activity at the restaurant. "And we're just getting started. With karaoke and other ideas, we can turn Flavors of Life into a landmark in the city," added Samuel, visibly excited. Elena, seeing the positive impact of her ideas and the success of their teamwork, felt full of hope. Flavors of Life was returning to being the vibrant heart of the community, and the family's unity was stronger than ever. With the success of the app and new initiatives underway, everyone felt that the restaurant was heading towards a bright future. While Miguel was still away, caring for his brother, the rest of the family continued to work hard, knowing they were creating something special together. The anticipation for the first karaoke night at Flavors of Life was palpable. Giulietta and Samuel had worked tirelessly to ensure everything was perfect. The sound system was ready, the decorative lights were set to create a festive atmosphere, and the song list was filled with classics and modern favorites. On the night of the event, the restaurant began to fill up early. Old and new customers arrived, eager to participate in the novelty. The atmosphere was full of laughter and animated conversations. Elena, Samuel, and Giulietta circulated among the tables, ensuring everyone was comfortable and well taken care of. "I think we're ready to start," announced Giulietta, grabbing the microphone and waving to the crowd. The first brave souls took to the improvised stage, and soon the restaurant was filled with music and applause. The atmosphere was pure joy and fun. People sang, clapped, and laughed together, creating a sense of community that hadn't been seen in a long time. Eleanor watched the scene with a satisfied smile. Sitting next to Samuel, she felt a wave of gratitude and admiration for him. He had worked so hard to ensure the event's success, and his dedication was evident. "You did an amazing job, Samuel. Look at how everyone is having fun," said Elena, leaning in to speak closer to him due to the noise. Samuel turned to her, his eyes shining with satisfaction. "I couldn't have done it without you, Eleanor. Your ideas and energy have transformed this place. I'm so happy to see everyone like this," he replied with a warm smile. As the night progressed, the closeness between Samuel and Eleanor grew. They laughed together at the amusing performances, shared meaningful glances, and enjoyed each other's company. The music and joy around them seemed to intensify the feelings they were beginning to recognize. During a break between performances, Samuel took Elena out to the restaurant's porch, where the noise was softer and the starry night provided a peaceful backdrop. "Elena, I know we've been through a lot together these past few weeks, and I can't deny that I'm feeling something very special for you," Samuel confessed, with an honesty that made Elena's heart beat faster. Elena looked at Samuel, surprised and touched by his sincerity. She too felt something growing inside her, an attraction and affection she couldn't ignore. "Samuel, I feel something for you too. But everything is still so new and uncertain. I'm afraid of rushing things," she replied, trying to express her confused feelings. Samuel gently held Elena's hand. "We don't need to rush anything, Elena. Let's just let things happen naturally. The important thing is that we're in this together," he said, squeezing her hand tenderly. Elena smiled, feeling more relieved and closer to Samuel than ever. He gently pulled her closer, and they stood in silence for a moment, simply enjoying each other's company. "I'm so glad we found each other, Eleanor," Samuel whispered, looking deeply into her eyes. Elena felt her heart race. Without thinking much, she leaned in, and with a gentle movement their lips met. The kiss was brief but full of emotion, sealing the special moment they shared. It was as if all the time they had spent together had culminated in that magical instant. They returned inside, where the karaoke night continued in full swing. But now there was something more between them, a mutual understanding and a promise to explore what was growing in their hearts. When the night finally ended, the restaurant was filled with laughter and compliments. The customers left happy, commenting on the wonderful night they had and promising to return. "It was an absolute success," exclaimed Giulietta, hugging Samuel and Elena. "Yes, it really was. We managed to create something special here," agreed Elena, feeling more connected to the family than ever. With the restaurant closed and preparations for the next karaoke night already in mind, Samuel and Elena realized that something deeper was blooming between them. And as the stars shone in the sky on that memorable night, they knew that together they could face any challenge and build a bright future. After a week away, Miguel finally returned from his trip. Tired but relieved to know that his brother Ramon was out of danger, he arrived home eager to see his family and check on how things were at the restaurant. As he walked through the front door, he was immediately greeted by Giulietta and Manuela, who ran to embrace him. "Dad, it's so good to have you back," exclaimed Giulietta, smiling from ear to ear. "Grandpa Miguel," said Manuela, her eyes shining with joy. Miguel smiled, feeling a wave of love and longing. He then headed to the restaurant to see how things were going. Upon entering, he was surprised by what he saw. The restaurant was bustling with cheerful customers and an energetic atmosphere. He'd never seen flavors of life so lively and full of life. Samuel, who was busy attending to some customers, noticed his father's arrival and went to greet him. "Welcome back, Dad," said Samuel, giving him a warm hug. "What happened here? The restaurant is packed," asked Miguel, still surprised. "We have a lot to tell you, Dad. Thanks to the delivery app and some new ideas, we've managed to attract many customers. And the karaoke night was an absolute hit, explained Samuel with enthusiasm. Karaoke? Miguel frowned, clearly confused. Yes, we had a karaoke night. It was Julietta's idea. We organized it while you were away, and it was a huge success. We attracted many customers and created an incredible atmosphere, replied Samuel, smiling. Eleanor, who was in the kitchen helping to prepare orders, came out to greet Miguel. He looked at her with gratitude and respect. Eleanor, I don't know how to thank you. You did an incredible job here. You saved our restaurant, said Miguel, his eyes welling up. Elena smiled, feeling touched by the recognition. It wasn't just my work, Miguel. We all did this together, and I'm very happy to help, she replied humbly. Miguel placed his hand on Elena's shoulder and looked into her eyes. I trust you, Elena. You have become an essential part of our family and our restaurant. Thank you for everything, he said sincerely. Miguel then turned his attention to Samuel and Julieta. And about the karaoke, I'm not mad. On the contrary, I'm surprised and very happy that you took the initiative. I think this is proof that we can continue innovating and finding ways to keep flavors of life alive and thriving, said Miguel with an approving smile. That moment marked a significant shift in the dynamics of flavors of life. Miguel not only recognized Elena's importance, but also began to see her as an indispensable part of his life and family. With the restaurant's success and everyone's unity, the future seemed more promising than ever. With a renewed sense of hope and gratitude, Miguel joined his family for another day of work at Flavors of Life, knowing that together they could overcome any challenge and continue building a legacy of love and resilience. The days following Miguel's return were marked by a joyful and optimistic atmosphere at Flavors of Life. The restaurant continued to thrive thanks to the delivery app and the success of the karaoke night. The community gathered at the place, creating a warm and familiar environment. Samuel and Elena continued working together, both at the restaurant and on developing new ideas to maintain constant growth. Their daily closeness only intensified the feelings they had for each other. Samuel knew he was in love with Elena and felt it was time to take the next step. One morning, before the restaurant opened, Samuel decided it was the right moment. He asked Eleanor for a conversation at a nearby park, where the tranquility and welcoming atmosphere provided the perfect setting. Eleanor, can I talk to you for a moment? Samuel asked, trying to control the anxiety in his voice. Of course, Samuel. What is it? Eleanor replied, curious. They walked to the park and sat on a wooden bench, surrounded by lush trees and the gentle sound of birds singing. Elena, I've wanted to tell you something I've been feeling for a while, Samuel began, taking a deep breath. Since you and Manuela arrived, my life has changed in ways I never imagined. You've brought light and joy into our lives, and I can't picture a future without you by my side. Elena felt her heart race. She looked at Samuel, her eyes reflecting the emotion she felt. Samuel, I feel the same way. You and your family welcomed me during a difficult time, and I'm forever grateful for that. But what I feel for you goes beyond gratitude. I can't imagine my life without you either, she responded sincerely. Samuel smiled, relieved and happy to hear those words. He took Elena's hand and, with a tender gesture, said, Elena, I want to be by your side, to take care of you and Manuela. I want to build a future together. Will you be my girlfriend? Elena felt tears of happiness well up in her eyes. She squeezed Samuel's hand and replied, Yes, Samuel, I want to be with you and build that future together. They embraced, feeling the joy and promise of a new beginning. From that moment, they began planning a future together. They shared dreams and hopes, talking about plans for the restaurant, Manuela's education, and their personal wishes for their lives. The news of Samuel and Elena's relationship quickly spread through the family, receiving warm support from everyone. Miguel and Julieta were especially happy, seeing how the love between the two was further strengthening family bonds. "I always knew you two would make a wonderful couple," Julieta said, hugging Elena warmly. "I'm so happy for you." Miguel, with a proud smile, hugged Samuel and Elena. "You have my full support. Seeing your love grow is one of the most beautiful things I've ever witnessed. I'm so happy you found each other," he said, emotionally. As the months passed, the love between Samuel and Elena blossomed. The restaurant Flavors of Life continued to prosper, and the family was more united than ever. Samuel knew he wanted to spend the rest of his life with Elena and was determined to formalize their commitment. One special night, after a family dinner at the restaurant, Samuel decided it was the right time to propose. He took Elena for a walk to the park where they had started dating, a place that now held special significance for both of them. Under the starry sky, Samuel stopped and held Elena's hands. "Elena, since you came into our lives, everything has changed for the better. You've brought light, joy, and new meaning to my life. I can't imagine a future without you and Manuela by my side. Will you marry me?" he asked, kneeling down and revealing a simple but beautiful ring. Elena felt tears of happiness stream down her face. She looked at Samuel, her heart overflowing with love. "Yes, Samuel, I want to marry you," she replied, emotional. They embraced under the stars, sealing the moment with a kiss full of promises for a happy future together. The wedding preparations began immediately. The whole family got involved in the plans, with Miguel and Julieta taking important roles in the organization. The restaurant Flavors of Life would be the venue for the ceremony, a place that meant so much to everyone. Joy was palpable as everyone dedicated themselves to the details. The flowers, the menu, the music, everything was planned with love and care. Manuela, radiant with happiness, helped as much as she could, excited for the big day. The community also rallied, offering help and support. Samuel and Elena's wedding was not just a celebration of their love, but also a testament to the unity and strength of the community surrounding them. As the wedding day approached, the excitement grew. The family was more united than ever, and Flavors of Life prepared to be the setting for one of the most important and happiest days in Samuel and Elena's lives. The day of Samuel and Elena's wedding finally arrived, and Flavors of Life was transformed into a dream setting. The restaurant, adorned with white flowers and twinkling lights, exuded an atmosphere of love and celebration. The tables were covered with white linen tablecloths, and each place setting had a small arrangement of fresh flowers. Guests began to arrive, bringing smiles and warm embraces. The entire community seemed to have mobilized to celebrate Samuel and Elena's union. The soft sound of a string quartet filled the air, creating an ambience of serenity and anticipation. Elena, dressed in a delicate lace gown, looked stunning. Manuela, her little bridesmaid, wore a matching white dress and held a bouquet of wildflowers. Julieta and Miguel helped with the final preparations, their faces radiating joy and pride. When it was time for the ceremony, all the guests gathered in the garden at the back of the restaurant, where chairs were arranged in neat rows. An arch decorated with white flowers served as the altar. Samuel, in an elegant suit, waited anxiously for his bride's arrival. To the sound of a gentle melody, Elena walked down the aisle alongside Manuela, who scattered flower petals along the way. Samuel's eyes filled with emotion as he saw Elena approaching. When she finally reached the altar, Samuel took her hands, and together they looked at the officiant. We are here today to celebrate the union of Samuel and Elena, two people who found love and companionship in the midst of challenging times, began the officiant with a soothing and comforting voice. The officiant's words were filled with meaning and emotion. Samuel and Eleanor exchanged heartfelt vows, promising love, respect, and mutual support for life. When the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, a wave of applause and cheers echoed through the garden. The newlyweds kissed, sealing their union with a passionate kiss. The reception dinner was held in the main hall of the restaurant, where everyone gathered to celebrate. The dishes, prepared with the usual care, were praised by all the guests. There were heartfelt speeches, dances, and lots of music. Elena and Manuela were officially integrated into Miguel's family. The community also welcomed them with open arms, recognizing the vital role they had played in revitalizing flavors of life. The night was filled with laughter, love, and celebration, marking the beginning of a new chapter in everyone's lives. With the continued success of Flavors of Life following the wedding, the family began to consider the possibility of expanding the restaurant. The karaoke nights, the delivery app, and constant innovation had turned the restaurant into a community landmark. Miguel, Samuel, and Elena regularly met to discuss expansion plans. They wanted to ensure that the restaurant's essence, the warm welcome and homemade food, was maintained regardless of its size. We need to ensure that even with expansion, our customers continue to feel the same warmth and familiarity, Miguel said in a serious but hopeful tone. I agree, Dad. We could think about opening a second location in a nearby neighborhood, but maintaining the same quality and service standards, suggested Samuel. Elena, always full of ideas, added, we can use the app to integrate the two locations, making ordering easier and ensuring the experience is the same at both. Additionally, we can create community events like cooking classes and themed nights to attract more people. The plans began to take shape. They decided that the new Flavors of Life location would be in a nearby neighborhood where the demand for family restaurants was growing. Miguel started looking for potential sites, while Samuel and Elena worked on logistical and strategic planning. The community, aware of the expansion plans, offered their support. Many regular customers volunteered to help promote the new restaurant, and some even offered their skills and services to assist with construction and decoration. With everyone's collective effort, the new Flavors of Life began to take shape. The construction progressed quickly, and soon the new restaurant was ready to be inaugurated. The opening night was as grand as Samuel and Elena's wedding, with guests eager to see the new space and taste the dishes that had won their hearts. The expansion's success was immediate. The new Flavors of Life quickly became as popular as the original location, and Miguel's family continued to work together, ensuring that both restaurants maintained the same quality and welcoming spirit. The expansion not only brought financial success, but also strengthened family and community ties. Together, Miguel, Samuel, Elena, and Julieta realized that with love, determination, and mutual support, they could achieve any dream. Even with the expansion and financial success, Miguel never abandoned his mission to help those in need. Every day, he set aside a portion of the restaurant's food to distribute to the poor and homeless. It was common to see him in the kitchen preparing special meals for those who couldn't afford to pay. This continuous gesture of generosity did not go unnoticed by the community, who admired and respected the family even more. Months passed quickly, and life at Flavors of Life was more prosperous and filled with love than ever. Elena and Samuel eagerly awaited the arrival of their first child together, Hector. The restaurant continued to flourish, and the family was more united than ever. Finally, the big day arrived. On a sunny morning, Elena gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Hector was a strong and lively baby, bringing even more joy to the family. Samuel was by Elena's side, holding her hand and smiling at their newborn son. "He's perfect, Eleanor, our little Hector," said Samuel, his eyes filled with tears of happiness. Elena smiled, exhausted but radiant with happiness. "Yes, he is. Our family is complete now," she replied, lovingly looking at Samuel and the baby. Hector's arrival was celebrated by everyone. Miguel and Julieta were ecstatic with the new family member. Manuela, now a proud older sister, couldn't hide her joy and excitement. Holding Hector in her arms, Elena reflected on her journey, from the difficult days on the streets to finding shelter and love at Flavors of Life. She knew her life had changed forever. She had become a fundamental part not only of the restaurant, but also of Miguel's family. Her strength, determination, and love had helped turn a period of crisis into a tale of hope and renewal. Miguel, observing the scene, felt deep gratitude for all they had achieved together. He knew that the decision to welcome Elena and Manuela had been one of the best of his life. Flavors of Life was more than a restaurant. It was a symbol of love, resilience, and community. With Hector in their arms, Samuel and Eleanor looked to the future with hope and confidence. They knew that together they could overcome any challenge and build a legacy of love and dedication that would endure for generations. And so, Flavors of Life continued to be a beacon of light and love, a place where stories of overcoming and unity were written every day. Eleanor's journey, from a homeless woman to an essential part of a family and a thriving restaurant, was living proof that with love and support, any adversity can be overcome. I hope you enjoyed today's story. If you did, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more stories like this. Leave a like and comment below what you thought about the story. See you